and appreciate the flexibility as we navigate. But y'all can't tell me, as a side note, that that's not almost a receipt within itself, because what was that about? What was that about? I'm gonna pull up an area where I had some because I had a whole agenda set up for you guys today, and that really threw me off. Okay, I'm waiting for this Canva to reload. It's saying it's having difficulty. I would really hate to have to restart this just so y'all can see it. But I did find some anecdotal information. I wanted to present both sides as best as I could when we're talking about a historical reference. So I was able to pull some anecdotal information from online. And I wanted to show you all that part, because for me, that's where I felt like this starts to move into the conversation of, it's not exactly the same, right? It's not the same as Vietnam. By no way, shape, or form I'm trying to say, oh, this is exactly the same. What I'm saying is there's some interesting patterns. There are some interesting parallels, and it's with regard to the cost of war, right? I was able to find some anecdotal information where there were discussions that, hey, we didn't want to have to do this. This is a decision that's being made by government, and our youth, our young men, young women are being sent out there to have to fight the fight, when in fact we don't have an issue with the other people who we're being sent to be in opposition of. One piece I was able to pull is from a museum I was able to visit. This particular museum is located in Louisville, Kentucky, and it is a very known, legendary, it is in honor of a very legendary boxer named Muhammad Ali. And it talks about like the impact of saying, hey, I don't want to have to fight in that fight. And that was during the time of the draft. There's been lots of discussion about a draft coming forth. There was nothing definitely said, but it certainly has always been on the book. So it's always kind of up for discussion if it needs to be up for discussion. So what I thought would be interesting was the parallels of that, and like being able to pull the anecdotal information that I was able to find. I can do it auditory, but I think it's really important to see the traps that I was able to have captured, because someone did a demonstration on the different types of traps that people encountered when they went to Vietnam. And the person just gave such a beautiful illustration. I don't want to try to take away from any of that experience by only having it be audible. But man, let me see, because this is weird. The whole thing just went slow. Y'all know I done made somebody angry. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Listen, but I'm determined to get this PowerPoint up, because I put this together for y'all. And I had meditated on this information because I didn't want to just present any other thing. I think it's really important to be very intentional, because that's a discussion of historical loss. A lot of lives were lost during that time. And at present day, we're being notified that there are lots of loss of life, right? Loss of quality of life, loss of a way of, the way that things were, lots of bereavement that is going on and should be acknowledged across the board. I would have loved for you all to see that particular map. That was kind of, it was just very interesting. And I feel like it might touch on some different learning needs, accessibility elements, just because people have diverse brains, see things differently, interpret things differently, digest things differently, instead of just looking at, words, right? Being able to see that visually, spatially, some people identify better with that. So if that's something you're interested in, it's called Conflictly.app. And it was something I stumbled across once again after reading 50,000 comments online for some significant resources that I found on. I'm like, well, where are people getting this information from? Because I want to verify. You know how I am. I like to collect. I like to marinate, annotate, kind of sit on some information before I just jump to saying things because we want to verify it, right? So of course I had to do some digging in the comments to figure out where people are going, which one seems to be a little bit more verified. I'm always looking at international news, so I have to kind of bounce around between certain times of day to get certain content. We are almost in the clear, you all. This appears to be loading. And as long as you all are still in my background, we will be in good shape. So let me verify that piece. Yay, yay. This is so peculiar. Like, for this to be the first 30 minutes, I'm a little perturbed myself. But I guess while I'm still waiting for this to come up, it was just my conversation today is just more so thinking about the overall cost of war. I don't think that sometimes when people are sitting in these rooms, they're thinking about the overall impact of how it's affecting other people. Very impactful.
I think you already seen, so we don't have to explain it anymore. Pitfall trap, you fall into the pit, spikes underneath the pit, and then you get impaled. Okay. First trap, second trap, you got a seesaw trap. You know how a seesaw work, right? Swing on this side, the other side goes up, so you falls down. The spike will goes back and hit your head when you try to stand up. Yes. Standing style. This one is a fish trap. So this fish trap came from the idea of the actual fish trap. You see the river flows, and when the fish follow the river, goes into the box, and the fish when in the box cannot escape the box because they are too big to fit through the gaps here. So fish trap same apply, but opposite side. So you swim in the river. You swim in a flooded area. You have your leg fell down. And when your legs fell down, you stab the spike here. And when you try to pull your leg out, that's what happens. Okay. The next one is the armpit trap. Armpit trap, you fall right into the middle. If your hands like momentum like this will go straight into your armpits. Not a good idea. This one here is go for your chest. Let's go for your back. If you fall this way, chest and back. But if you fall this way, both sides. Very painful. This one, well, this it just hits you everywhere. It just go for all of your body because this one spin. So bottom, top to the bottom, you get all impaled. This one's over here. One's a little bit tricky. So, when you fall into the trap, you shoot the spikes out. It goes straight into your leg. This trap is called sticking trap because of that reason, because it sticks into your legs. This one is a door trap. You see, usually they activate the door like this. So when you knock the door, no one answers, so you kick it open or you open the door. You open the door, this whole thing flies out. Yep. And when you have good reflex, try to catch it. See the problem? Bottom still swing forward. And so there you go. Not just that, these traps also have a very special design to it. Look at the spikes. You can see that it's fish hooks, which means that when it goes in, it doesn't go out easy. So when you pull, pierces your skin, you lose more blood. So here is the part of the Vietnam War. You see, when a wounded soldier goes back home, they tell stories. And when the people hear the story, no one supports the war anymore. So what happens if you don't have people supporting the war and go to war anymore? Well, the government drafts them to go to war. You see, the problem about the Vietnam War is 19-year-old kids are forced to go here, away from their family, friends, loved ones, to die in Vietnam with this. And the enemy that they are shooting at is not even better. They are 14, 15, 16-year-old kids who has The only thing to do is defending their country. Yep, this is the stupidity of the war. This is why the draft system, which is 19-year-olds who were sent to Vietnam against their will, was not supported, and it's one of the biggest reasons why the US people don't like the war. So for the Vietnamese people, we don't blame the soldier who fought in Vietnam. For many countries, the reason is just like us, they don't have a choice, we don't have a choice. We're just following orders, and you know whose orders for that came from. So bad politic decision leads to this, not US soldier. Okay, so that's it.